Hey everybody, welcome to verifiedinvesting.com. My name is Gareth Soloway, Chief Market Strategist here. In today's video, we're going to deep dive into Ethereum or ETH and see what the charts are telling us. We're seeing some downside here early in the day. The question is it starting to break down or is it still safe? Let's dive into the chart and take a look. So what we have here is Ethereum, and you can see ETH trading down on the day. This is a daily chart. So each one of these candles is 1 day long. And you see today, again, a nice little sell-off to the downside. Now, the first thing I'm seeing here is very clearly there's a trend line upsloping. And we'll draw that in right now so you guys can kind of see it and follow along. And you can see really here, there's a beautiful line right there. And you can see, again, it just connects through those previous lows right from here all the way to this low in August, early August. And we still haven't hit it. And I would just say this. This is what we would call the uptrend that began with the breakout after the bullish consolidation. So if we look at a chart, right, what we know is when we're reading a chart, you have these up moves, and then when you go sideways like this, that's building consolidation. Essentially, you have a big bull move, and then in the upper range, you have buyers and sellers equaling each other, which basically absorbs all the selling pressure. And then the stock, or in this case, the crypto, can make its next bull move. So we had the bull flag there, and we began our breakup from this low all the way up to the recent high. Now, that tells me that this is the beginning of the trend breakout to the upside, and it connects beautifully through these lows. And so as a technician of the charts, I would look at this and say, okay, Ethereum or ETH is fine as long as this trend line, being the term there, holds. If price were to get below this line and confirm, then you would start to be a little bit more concerned that you're going to get a bigger correction. Do you guys understand what I'm saying there? So essentially, you have a downside potential on this to about 4150. If 4150 gets a close below and then we confirm the breakdown, the door is going to open for a move down here in the near term to about 3875 and then potentially back to about 3375. All right, but listen, if you are a bull, as of now, technically speaking, it's still okay. You're still holding the uptrend in the near term. All right. So again, we're going to watch that very, very closely. Now, on the upside, if we zoom out on this chart, there's obviously a very significant double top that we need to break through. So if you're a bull on ETH, not only do you want this upsloping trend line around 4150 to hold, but then you need to see a reversal and a move up where it takes out this level at around 4865 to 4870. And we need to see, obviously, now that it's a double top, we have to see confirmation, the confirmation signal trigger above that level. Okay. So again, if you're a bull, watch for a move back up. If we can get that, you need to get a close with confirmation above 4875, and then we should see a move into the 4,000 plus, or I should say 5,000 plus range. Now, where would that high be? I mean, overall, where could we expect that move to go? Again, it's always tricky on these kind of clear sky breakouts where you don't have much going on up there. There's no former price pressure. But what we could do is kind of look at charts and say, okay, well, we can see right here, it's almost like an upsloping trend line right through here. You guys see that? So kind of right in that vicinity. And this is what I would use, and this is what I'm using for an upside target. So very beautiful going back to 2021, starting right here, low, low, low. Price kept on bouncing, and then broke down. Then it retraced to the underbelly, and right here at 4,100, it got rejected, and we had our bigger pullback. Now it's making a move up. So if you get a move above double top here, above 4875, my guess is your upside target is going to be 5,400 to 5,500. It depends on how long it takes, right? Because further out on this line, it'll be going up. But that would be that next big test of resistance on ETH. All right. Now, we've looked at the bullish case. We've looked at the bearish case in the near term. What's the bearish case in the longer term, right? And when I say near term, what's the bearish case in the near term? Very simple. This trend line here is if we broke this trend line, then near term, you're probably coming down to this area. We talked about this again, 38.75 and then 33.75 if that even breaks. Okay. Longer term, what we're going to do here now is we're going to be zooming out and we're going to start looking at former kind of points of interest. And by the way, this former 38.75 is great because it goes all the way back here to this area. So that really should be a pretty good level. You can see a trend line generally that connects through all of those pivot points. In fact, I would dare say that you can connect it like that. And it's right. That actually should be a very good level. Down sloping trend lines right there through this high and then right to about that 38.75 level. So 38.75 should be good, again, as a first target if that breaks to the downside. But longer term, the bigger move, so we know we 38.75, 33.75, and then really longer term, 27.50. See this baseline, which was the bull flag we just talked about earlier, where it broke out and had this big move up. This bull flag will now act as major technical support. And what's so cool about this, it actually goes all the way back here. Look at that. Goes all the way back to 2024. And we could see how, again, it was resistance, broke out, and then kind of consolidated, broke down again, and it became resistance again and broke out. So the idea is if price ever gets back there, that's a big buying opportunity for me on ETH if it were to get in that range. So again, folks, that breaks down the Ethereum chart or ETH chart. And like I said, as long as in the near term we hold that, 4150 level, then the uptrend is intact. But should it break, that's where you got to start being concerned. I will keep you guys posted as always. Come visit us here at verifiedinvesting.com. Remember, I run Smart Money Crypto, which is swing trades on crypto, both long and short. If you're interested, I do 2 videos a week. My buddies, my pro traders, I call them my buddies because we are friends. But the idea is that Ben, my head trader, he does the altcoin advantage, which is the 50 to 100 market cap one. So basically anything beyond the top 50 at the top 50 I do. Those are my swing trade zones. He does the second half of those down to 100 on the market cap side. And then Drew does the hodler. The hodler, again, for those of you that love to just hodl, he's looking at the charts. He's picking things up at the right levels. He's getting a return by staking. It's pretty darn cool, actually. So again, come to Verified Investing. Smart Money Crypto is the place to be. You guys have a great one. Thanks so much. Take